Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the M&S show. I'm Miles.
I was going to say good morning. Hi guys, I'm Satty.
I'm Miles. Welcome to the show. We've done this before.
Yes. Believe it or not.
Yeah, we have done this before. We once upon a time we've done lots of videos together, and our beautiful little Sage is old enough now that we thought now is a really good time for us to start getting back into video content. People are often asking us, what's your secret? How is it that you guys seem to be so aligned, so on the same page? And the answer is, what's the recipe? When the answer is, we're not. The answer is,
every day is a new challenge.
Every day is a new challenge. But we're here and we're constantly working on how we can be better. So the purpose of this show is, just want to clarify who it's for, who it's not for. If right now you have the perfect relationship and
contact us,
let us know what's going on. We'll swap with you. If right now you have the perfect relationship and your life is perfect in every way, and your love relationship and your marriage and your interpersonal relationships, then you don't need to watch this. If, however, your relationship is not exactly the way you want it to be, or you're not with someone right now and you'd like to be, then this video is, we're going to share some simple, common sense, but not necessarily common practice things that we've done, that we do to make our marriage work, or at least try to work. And in today's video, we're going to share with you what we feel has made our relationship pretty ideal, really, considering.
Yeah. And just so you know, we work at it every day. Yeah. There is no guaranteed structure that works, because we'll plan something, we'll have a particular habit, and then it'll go tits up the next day and we're like, oh shit, what happened today? Like, I thought Sundays were the best day.
We nailed it.
Yeah, honestly, something is always coming up with us. But it's great because we have the self-awareness. That's really hard when you know there's an issue, but you just don't know how to pinpoint it.
Yeah.
So how do we pinpoint it?
Well, by the way, I just want to say, if you're here, if you're watching live, comment, let us know that you're here, so that we can see. I'm going to see if I can click something without turning everything off. Yeah. Let us know if you're here. People will comment, will come through. We're going to kind of just share with you 3 things that we've learned over the years that have really helped our relationship. But before I do, kind of start by giving you a bit of a backstory. Carrie's here. In the very early stages of our relationship, I think it'll be fair to say, Satty will say, she wasn't sure if it was going to work for various reasons. First one was location.
Distance was the big
Distance
one.
Was the first one.
Yeah, that's always the biggest problem.
And then when we first lived together, it was technically wasn't living together. I had a tiny little bed sit in Birmingham that was so small you could literally throw a spoon from the bed and it would go in the sink. So that wasn't easy.
Handy most days.
That was easy. Sat in a chair in the corner, where if we had an argument, that was her chair to sit in.
The chair of doom.
I didn't make her sit there, she sat there. That was her way of saying I'm not happy about the situation. But that's when I said it's only a few years ago. It's only what, 7 years ago?
7 years, yeah.
And there's a lot that we have done over the past 7 years to really work on refining and improving and getting us to a position now where I personally feel like I've never loved you more.
That's good to know.
I feel like I've never loved you more. I feel I've never been closer.
No, I agree.
And now we have Sage, who is almost 2, and for a lot of people, I would argue that there's a lot of people that say that makes life harder.
And it did. It did for a while.
Yeah.
And that's another episode.
It is. but our intimacy, our connection is even better since having Sage, which goes against the grain of what a lot of people say, which is when you have a child, it disrupts all that. We made a very conscious decision that we were not going to allow that status quo and that effectively that belief system to apply to us. And I think we're doing a pretty good job.
But I also think Miles and I don't like to follow. We don't want to be categorized into, oh, this is what happens. And we're like, fuck that. Like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be you know, with respect to an overweight parent, I've got no time to train. I've got no time to have time for me. We didn't want to create that, so it was painful for us to hear these things. And then we went, okay, we're not gonna do what the norm do. We're gonna do what Satty and Miles need to do. What do we need to do as a couple?
Yeah.
So
we're going to share with you there's effectively 3 things that we religiously do that I believe if you do will make you have an ideal, really good relationship. 3 things that whenever we don't do these things, there is there's tension, there's problems, there's energy, there's arguments. They're very, very, very simple and easy to do, which ultimately also means they're very, very simple and easy not to do. So what's the first one say? What's the first thing that we feel is one of our fundamentals that makes our relationship great?
In the morning, we need to have time apart. We are consumed with each other, and I absolutely love being with Miles. But that hour, that first hour of the day, if you can have it, we spend apart. And Miles and I both use it to train, because it just works really well with us. So Miles will go to the gym first thing, and then I will go after. But we actually don't spend any time together until we've had our own time, and that's because even though Miles and I are married and we're committed, we're still 2 different souls. We're 2 different energies. We're 2 different people. And quite rightly, we're very similar, but I need to have that time to go within and
we're independently dependent, right?
But I need to go within and practice my gratitude. I need to figure out what I'm doing. But I also just need to check in with me, and the first thing I need to do is train. So I use that energy to work out, but I work out in a way that makes me feel good. It makes me ready for the day, but also it prepares me for things that can happen to throw me off as well. So personally, having that time to check in with gratitude, to check in with the world, check in with myself. How do I feel? I think as mums, you know, do we even ask ourselves that question? I know it took me when I first had Sage, it was, you know, a year before I was like, shit, I don't know how I feel anymore about myself, you know. So that hour, my hour of power, is just for me, my own thoughts, my own whatever waste I've got in my head, how I need to set my day with gratitude, focus, journaling, and then I can come back and be present and focused.
Super mom, super wife, super everything, basically. Yeah, no, I you know, if you're a guy watching, I implore you, if you're married, if you've got children, that if your partner, significant other, doesn't currently have at least an hour to herself every day away from being wife, being mum, you need to create
and
that.
She'll say no. She'll say, oh no, because I say this to Mom, my purpose is to be a great wife, a great mum, but also, hello, what about great person, great individual? And I think it took me a year to say that out loud and say, shit, I need time for myself. So and then you have your hour.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, mine is very similar in terms of development, but the key thing is having time to just independently set up your day is critically important, because we come into the world by ourselves and we leave by ourselves, right? You know, we weren't married when we were born. We were independent souls and spirits, as Satty said, and we have to grow independently for us to be able to work as a unit. You know, it's so important that we recognize that. Second thing that I think is really, really important that we've made in our life, and this has been something that's been really, really prominent through COVID, is having what we call offline mode. So what that means is generally 7 o'clock at night, our phones are completely offline. Jason Greystone, good to see you, brother. I know Jason is, I believe, you're married with children. It's great to have you here, brother. We will 7 o'clock at night, phone, these things go away, they disappear, they're used for maybe if we're streaming something or whatever, but they're away. We are fully present with each other. You can't reach us unless it's an emergency.
And it was funny because I remember family members trying to get me after 7, and I'd be like, are you dying? Are you in hospital? Okay, and that would be it. And now we're at a point with my family where I don't even hear from them after 7. They know, but it took such a long time. Love you, family. But yeah, you have to have that. You have to bring that awareness to them, because also you become a bit of a role model, because they're like, oh, Satty's putting her phone away to spend more time with her husband. Shit, should we be doing the same? And it just highlights. Anyway, sorry.
I coached a client on this. He said he always had his phone in the bedroom, and his wife did as well. It was just, they knew it was a really bad habit. And I got a text from him one day. Obviously, he'll remain nameless because that would be rude for me to share. He texted me to say, I need to say thanks. I said, what for? He said, me and the wife are more intimate than we've ever been, and we put it down to the fact that you told us that we should have offline mode in the evening. So they were just in a really bad habit of just kind of sat on their phones. It wasn't even intentional. They just were in the habit. It's amazing how these things that we call smartphones can actually be quite dumb. So yeah, that is a big one. And then last one, which I think is arguably the most important, it's the thing that I religiously have done for years. Satty, not as much as I had, but now religiously does this as much as me, if not more. Last night I watched the football, and this one is doing the thing that I'm about to share with you, which is phenomenal, and it's a game changer in any relationship, is individual and shared personal development. So what that means is videos, podcasts, reading books, anything YouTube,
any learning device. I mean, YouTube is out of hand. Like I can Google anything into Google. No, YouTube, sorry. And I can get so much information and so many different beliefs and patterns. Oh my goodness. And it's available at a click of a finger. Well, we were just talking about this the other day, and how years ago we never had that opportunity. We had to go to a library. There was that. We had to go find a book from a library. We had to think about it in advance. Do they have it? I'm sure. What was self-development?
Self-help.
Self-help. Who wants to go down the self-help aisle in Waterstones?
I did.
Well, no, but you're one of. You know, so you can do that like on your phone, on the move. You could be in the car. You could be on the bus.
And I know, because I've had this conversation with couples before, where one person has said, I'm really into personal development, and he or she isn't. And the first thing that you've got to know is, if you try and preach personal development to a person who isn't into personal development, that's counterproductive.
Really hard with Miles to begin with, because I felt like he was forcing it on me, and the more he forced it, the more I was like, "Can you just go? Can you just go? Because if you don't love this, then go." Obviously not the right attitude. 8 years.
No, but it was almost like I was saying, you need to change.
You really can't change. And I think slowly he started to lead by example. So I could see that the learning that he was channeling through the learning, and it was coming through into our relationship. And that made me go, this isn't. Oh, you've left me a love note. What does this mean? And then I slowly was like, I'm intrigued. So I was rejecting to going, oh, this sounds intriguing. And then it just went step by step to a point where, you know, any free time I have, I've got YouTube on, I've got the Sadhguru on, so there's someone to just push through my brain.
Sadhguru's the one at the moment, isn't he?
I couldn't even watch trash I couldn't even watch trash TV yesterday. I tried so hard to put on Kim Kardashian. I was like, just white noise me. Couldn't do it.
You were learning. She was learning at 10 o'clock last night while I was watching the
football. It was a perfect time to watch trash TV.
But yeah, shared personal development is a winner. Don't force it. Yeah, like if you're into it, but you know the other person isn't, be even more into it and embody it and live and breathe it, and they'll follow.
And it's hard because you're going, what am I doing it for? But you're doing it for someone that you love. You're contributing to your love.
That's it.
And if you do that, you feel good, therefore she feels good, And then her presence will just make everyone else feel good, whoever she meets, because she's like, oh, my husband did this to me, like that.
Yeah.
And then he will feel good because he sees that you're happy. It's just this whirlwind.
It's got to be do as you do, as I do, not do as I say.
Yeah. But know that you're not going to get anything back as well. So just give the love.
Yeah, don't go, oh, I'm going to do it and expect that eventually they're going to follow. No expectation. Yeah. Nice. Anything else before we wrap?
I want to work out.
And herein lies the funny thing. Sage is asleep. This is going to probably be a regular time that we're going to do our show.
So what is
Sage is asleep.
12 o'clock?
Yeah, how long is she going to sleep now?
Half an hour.
You're getting a window into our time. Well, we're going to wrap, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got questions, comments.
Thanks for tuning in.
Feel free to share it. We'll see you next. I think it's going to be Monday.
Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to discuss. We're open books-ish.
Love it.
So, yeah.
See you guys.
Guys.
Take care. Peace out. Bye.